This is where the cool podcast intro is supposed to go, but I forgot to finish it. Anyway, here's Scuffed as Fuck. Welcome to Scuffed as Fuck, the only show where halfway through you realize that we might actually be the problem. Whoops. I'm your host, Retro Coda, and with me today, as always, our co-host, Mr. Cubic Guru. Say hello, Cubic.
Hello. Hi, hi, hi,
There we
hi.
go. um, Welcome to the new year. Happy 2026. I hope we've all had a fantastic little holiday break. Did you, Cubic?
I did. Lots of rest, lots of good food, lots of time with family. Not a bad time.
That is always good to hear. I got a lot of rest as well. Well, outside of work, of course, but it was nice to just kind of catch up on sleep on some of those days. Um, Today's topic is a fun one because you actually were the one that came up with this months and months ago whenever we first started doing this. And it
Yeah.
is games where you play as the bad guy. Do you want to go ahead and explain that a little bit?
Yeah, so I can't fully remember what prompted me thinking about this, but as I was playing games recently, I'm like, okay, there are games where you can take the avenue of the villain, where you have like a
Mhm.
choice of doing good or bad, or you play as an established villain in a game, in like a different game in the series down the line. And I thought
Right.
that was interesting, because you always think, whenever you think of a video game or a story, there's always some sort of hero going through the hero's journey. But what's the other side of that? What's the day in the life of the bad guy look like? Um, and I think one of the recent examples of what I've been playing is Fallout has this system actually. So
Mhm.
either be like a wasteland savior where you do nothing but good deeds throughout the wasteland, or you could be a menace to society and kill
This
everybody
is
and poison waterways and do this and that and the other thing.
You could become an absolute tyrant.
Yeah, exactly. And I
Hell
think
yeah.
there's RPGs like that where you have full right to play into those tendencies and just be the bad person of the series.
Oh yeah. Actually, one of my favorite games to date, or one of my favorite series, does a very good job of that as well. The Infamous series, if you've ever played them or heard of them,
I've heard of them, yeah.
where you have every option to be like you become this souped up hero to an extent. You gain these powers. In the first two, it's the power of like electricity or some sort. And then in the one that came out for the PlayStation 4, Second Son, you gain a whole bunch of different abilities, but you can either choose to help, you know, protect the city, make it so that mutants are more accepted, or you can just be an absolute menace and just kill people left and right and like r- become the, you know, bio terrorist that everyone claims that you are.
Ooh, yeah. Those games always sound really cool. I need to try them out.
Oh, definitely, dude. I love Second Son more than I love the first two. The first two are really good for when they came out on the PS3. And the second one actually had a standalone DLC that I loved, where you became bit by a vampire, and so all
Ooh.
of your powers were based around sucking blood and like turning into a bunch of bats. And oh, it's such a cool game. That one is probably my second favorite, but the Second Son is just so cool to me because, um, not only just the story of it, gaining all of the different abilities, like you get the power of neon, the power of smoke, concrete, and another one in there, but uh, it was one of the first times that PlayStation had ever really done anything with the PlayStation controller. So
Hmm.
there are little tagging scenes where you actually are like doing graffiti art. and you actually use the controller as a spray paint can. So you have to hold it sideways and like you use the triggers as like the actual spray nozzle, and it's honestly one of the coolest games. But
Okay.
that's me getting off topic on it.
No, that's a cool concept. You know, it makes me think, Coda, have you ever played a game where you have the choice of going good or bad and you chose the bad option?
I am someone who will always start off with the good version.
Me too. Me too.
Uh, I like to play it through as the hero, and then I like to go back and be like, but what if I was just an absolute asshole? Like,
Yeah.
it's just it's they're different kinds of rewarding, you know? Like playing through as the good guy for the first playthrough means you get to play the story that you kind of wanted to play. You get to be that hero and go through, but then when you go through the second time, you're just like, I just want to wreck shit, you know? I want to go out and cause chaos. And that's
Yeah.
an even bigger amount of fun.
Well, I think it's interesting because most games don't allow that option. It's either you are the good guy or you don't play the game, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think it's cool because games that have that sort of moral system. I read an
Mhm.
article, and 60% of players, their first time playing, they always do the good route, which is
So
kind of
we're in the
cool.
majority.
Yeah, which I appreciate.
The other the other 40% are just straight up assholes.
It's either mixed, like it's a case by case thing, or I think it was 5% they go purely evil.
Really. Now, I will say I've had instances where I've accidentally done evil things, and like, you know, if you're planning on going fully good on the first one and then you happen to do something evil, you kind of fuck it up and it becomes more of a neutral run.
Uh-huh.
Like like Undertale is a big one for me. The first time I ever played it, I didn't realize that there was a full pacifist mode, and I was just going through and killing things and gaining XP. And then when I realized, I started trying to be nice to people, and it did not end well. The whole entire game was just like, no, fuck you. You started this off being evil.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. I think too, a really good recent example is Baldur's Gate 3, because like you can do the Dark Origin route,
Hmm.
um, which is cool because like in D&D you can play an evil character but still be integral to the story. I
Right.
think they did that very well.
That's always the cool thing about the D&D games, like Baldur's Gate 2, is that it literally lets you create that story of if you want to be integral to the whole overarching storyline, but still be evil.
Yeah.
It's cool that they give you that kind of freedom.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think about games where you are playing as a good guy, but then the whole plot of your game, you are inadvertently doing something bad?
That's a really interesting question because I'm trying to think off the top of my head of any games. I mean, I guess the first one that would come to mind is like the Prototype series, maybe,
Ooh, that's a good example.
where you play as Alex Mercer, who's effectively a bioterrorist, but he's trying to do things for the good. But
Mhm.
like, despite being a good guy, everything you do just feels like it's morally evil, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
interesting. I kind of like that. That you don't get to see that often.
Yeah, I think of funny enough, I think of Kirby a lot whenever it comes to this question. 'Cause like,
Kirby?
yeah, I don't know, like my favorite game is Kirby Superstar.
Okay.
And whenever you play the Dynablade section, there's really nothing that prompts it. You just go up to the mountain, kill a bird, and then the bird's children are just kind of left to die.
Oh my god.
I'm like, damn, this is a like little pink child's game.
I was gonna say in a Nintendo game?
Yeah, I think Nintendo especially, they're really good at like sneaking morally questioning endings in games like that.
Mhm.
Have you ever played Link's Awakening?
Uh, Link's Awakening. Is that the one that was on the Game Boy?
It was, and I think they re-released it for
Yes.
Switch recently.
Yes, I believe we've talked about it before. I was trying to remember. That's the one that has the rainbow fish, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I've played that one a few times.
yeah. I mean, it plays like any other Zelda game. You feel like you're doing good against the forces of evil, but completing your quest, I mean, ultimately, I know it's a dream and everything, but that destroys the dream world that you're in whenever you complete your quest.
I didn't even think about that. Like, the
Yeah,
entire world that you were a part of just disappears.
yeah. It's kind of
Wow,
it's weird to think about.
that is I didn't even think about that, yeah. What do you think about games that just let you play the villain straight up? No, like,
Hmm.
morality or anything like that. You play the villain.
I I like it because a game that comes to mind for that question is Grand Theft Auto.
Mhm,
You know what I
definitely.
mean? I don't know.
I
You
mean
like obviously you wouldn't be driving around killing people and robbing stores and going on
right.
big bank heists. Because obviously in the real world that's morally wrong to do. But you do it like it's nothing in that game.
I was talking with one of my friends earlier today, and we brought up GTA because I was getting prepped for this episode, and he was like, "You know, if you think about it, you are technically still playing as a good guy." And I was like, "How? Explain to me. Explain this." And his
Yeah.
response was, You're playing as the lesser of two evils. There's always some like overarching more evil person in the game that you're, against throughout the story. Um, but by the end of it, you're technically the more the 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 bigger of two evils. So you're
Mm,
still a villain, but he was like all the way up until the end, you know, you're just doing things to get by and everything. I was like, you know, I guess I could kind of see it.
I don't agree with that with GTA 5
No, GTA
at
5
all.
is the I think GTA 5 is the exception because that is just straight up assholes heisting. Um,
Especially with Trevor,
especially
like,
I
you
was gonna
know.
say, especially with Trevor, that man is just a villain. He's an absolute lunatic. The fact that one of his little side missions is just the rampage mode where you have to kill literally everything while you're in a rage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, yeah. That one is, I think, absconded from the "you're a good guy until you're not." I think that was just "you're a bad guy."
Yeah.
The, the one that came to mind for me was uh, oh, I can't even remember the name of it. It's the one that has the alien, Crypto. Destroy All Humans, that's what it is.
Oh, yeah. That's a good
You
one.
are an alien that crash landed on Earth, and you are literally just trying to take over the world.
Interesting. You know, the lesser of two evil things is interesting because you ever play Pokemon Coliseum? I think it was a GameCube game.
I haven't. I never had a GameCube, unfortunately.
That was a game where you played as someone that betrayed a company that steals Pokemon, but
Mhm.
you do that throughout the game. Like you steal them to then purify them over time, but that's something that I think that was a weird way of looking at the Pokemon series that's never been done before and hasn't been done
Yeah,
since.
probably because it was such a weird concept.
I
But
don't know. I was like my mind was blown whenever I was like, okay, you can steal people's Pokemon. That's kind of crazy because you always try when you play a regular Pokemon game when you're a kid. You always
mhm.
try to throw a Pokeball at a trainer,
Oh, 100%.
and now you
Or,
can't.
what's another I was thinking about another one. Pokemon Ranger would technically count too, right?
How do
Because
you
you were
mean?
trying to well, aren't you? you save the Pokemon by capturing them, but, like, when you take them away from the enemy, like the Team Galactic or whatever it was in that game,
Mhm.
when you capture them from the people, you're still effectively stealing their Pokemon.
That's interesting. You're exactly right, though. Huh.
'Cause, like, you're still being the good guy by saving the Pokemon, but you're still technically stealing another trainer's Pokemon,
Yeah.
even if it is
Yeah.
for a good reason.
Hmm. That's an interesting thought. I hadn't thought of that because I love, I think I played the second one that was on the DS. I don't know if they were
Mhm.
all on the DS, but,
I think they
um
were both on the DS. One was on the
okay.
3DS, though.
I played the second one that came out, and I had a great time with that, but I that thought never crossed my mind.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I didn't think about it until you brought up the Pokemon Colosseum, because I was like, "Well, I mean, you do technically do that in Rangers too."
Huh, okay. Let me,
Uh,
uh let me go back to a previous question. What about games that establish a villain early in the series, but then they become a hero in their own games?
ooh. You know, you gotta give me an example, because I can't think of any off the top of my head.
So, Wario. I think of all the Wario games because, like, he was in Mario Land 2, he was the asshole that stole all of Mario's things, and that's what you're doing,
Yeah.
you're trying to get back into your own castle. And now he has, like, his own series of games where you do the same thing, but not to a hero in the series, you know what I mean? Because
Mhm.
you're just kinda you're very greedy, you want money, but it's fun, and you're the main
Yeah.
character.
Like the WarioWare games and stuff like that?
Yeah, even then, it's like that's not any sort of platforming adventure that you would have in a Mario game. But still,
Right.
a lot of the times you play as Wario, so it's like I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that is an interesting take on it. I was You started it off, like, where you start as the villain, and my brain instantly went to, like, Assassin's Creed 3, where
Mm,
you, start off playing as Haytham Kenway, and you think you're playing as an assassin, but it turns out you're actually working um, for the Brotherhood. And then it fast forwards into time where you're playing as Connor, his son, who is an assassin, and you end up having to kill him.
okay, okay,
So
I like that.
when you started off with where you play as the villain, however, that's where my brain instantly went to of like, yeah, you start off playing as the bad guy. Another one, speaking of the Assassin's Creed series, to go back to a like a where you play as the villain but don't like you think you're playing as the hero, but you wind up playing the villain.
Mhm.
Um, Assassin's Creed Rogue. Did you
Okay.
ever play Rogue?
No, I've only played Black Flag and Revolution.
Okay. So, uh, in Rogue, you play as, um, I think his name is Shay McCormack or something like that. Um, but he wants to join the Brotherhood, but the Brotherhood denies him because of his his beliefs or his way of doing things or something to that extent. And so you wind up working for the Brotherhood as uh this assassin turned Templar, and while your character believes that you are doing things for good, you are effectively killing all of these assassins who are wanting to protect the world. Um so going from doing You're going from playing what the whole entire series has been about, which is fighting off this giant corporation, this giant um, belief system of like keeping everything under like chains and control and all this stuff, um, to then working for them and fighting and killing the people who believe in like peace and freedom for all. Um, but the way the story presents it is your character still thinks that they're doing a good thing. It's a
Okay.
it's a really interesting story. It's definitely one that I would recommend. They remastered it a few years back, and with Black Flag coming out and it having direct ties to that, um, definitely something to play.
Okay. Okay. How do you feel about so like party games or like vanilla sandbox games where you can play as villains from other series? So like Mario Kart, Super Smash Bros. You can play some bad guys there.
I think that's fun. I think it's fun getting to play as them in a way that isn't like, I guess, integral to a story where
Yeah.
you're actively being a bad guy. In those cases, it's almost like the bad guys took a vacation, you know? Every
That's kind of true.
everybody deci everybody decided they're gonna take the week off and go to Cabo, and they're all just, playing, having fun.
That's kind of true though. That's a good way to think about it. Yeah, I always think
Yeah,
of it as like it's funny because I immediately think of fighting games whenever that question comes up. And
like
there's
Street
obviously
Fighter or
like
Tekken.
yeah, yeah. So like there's obviously people that are in their like universe or canon are considered bad guys,
Mhm.
but there's this big roster of people to choose from. So I don't know, it's like, okay, he looks cool, I'm gonna play as him. But secretly he was like a terrorist. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you never
Well,
knew
it's like
until like you get the blurb.
right, and, some games, they do have that kinda storyline to it where, like, for example, the Street Fighter or the Tekken or even, the one that came to mind immediately was Mortal Kombat,
Mm-hmm.
um, where but okay, let me finish the thought before I continue on.
Okay.
Um, so you pick these characters and you go through their story modes in some of the earlier games where they're fighting through the tournament, and some of their wants and their desires are like morally evil.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have the cases of, I believe it's Quan Chi or I can't remember the other guy's name, but they want to like entrap the souls of all the people from Earthrealm and yada yada yada, and you go through this whole thing. Um, so like you get to play as the villain in those cases, but you can also pick from that same roster playing as like Liu Kang or Raiden, who are trying to save Earthrealm, and you end up fighting against these very same people that you like would have picked otherwise. But the secondary thought I had from that was, even though you're playing as those evil people, you still have to end up fighting the most evil person of all at the end, which is that Shao Kahn.
Oh yeah.
Um, and so like it doesn't, it's still like a, in the end, what you're doing is evil, but having to face off against the big villain at the end, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And that series is interesting because like there's always like a moral grounding that the good characters have. It's like
Mhm.
I don't think if you play the story mode that Johnny Cage kills anybody. You know what I mean?
No.
But if
N
you're playing normally,
Right.
everyone has a fatality. You know what I mean? So
E
it's like, okay, that's interesting.
Everyone has a fatality, everyone has a brutality,
Yeah.
yeah. But if you
Which I
play
don't
the
know.
actual story, yeah. He'll never actually kill anybody, he just knocks them the fuck out and is like, "There, stay down."
Yeah. Yeah, which makes it interesting. I think it makes well, I don't know because if that's like a fun party game where you just kind of like, okay, the homies are gonna pull out Mortal Kombat.
Mhm.
It's whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. I would definitely put that in this in the case of party games and stuff of like maybe less so of the people taking a vacation and more of like a, they have to fight because they have to fight, but it's
Mhm.
still like a, you pick who you wanna play. You could play the villain if you want to.
Okay. You ever play Injustice?
I love Injustice. I love the second one more than I love the
So do
first
I.
one.
But spoiler, Superman is the bad guy.
Mhm.
And there's another bad guy on top of him. So there's another like, is there a lesser of two evils there or not?
You know, that's a good question. I I don't know. In my brain, I wanna put them on the same level, but that's only because he kills, Shazam. Like,
True.
the most brutal death in that first game. The kid is effectively what? Like a I think they say he's like a six-year-old boy in a with
He's
the
6?
abilities of a g he's gotta be. Hold on.
What?
Let me Google this. Let me real quick, let me Google this.
That's actually insane.
How old is Shazam in the Injustice game?
I know he's still a kid, but like 6? Oh my gosh.
Created around 19 years old, though he still looks and acts younger. He was initially
19?
depicted as being between 12
N
and 15 when he first gained his powers.
So he was around 12 to 15.
Okay. Okay, good.
So not nearly as bad
That's so
as the
bad.
six-year-old, but still, like, yeah, you're still effectively killing a teenager,
Yeah.
you know? This kid is just wanting everyone to get along, and Superman just straight up lasers him to death in the first game.
Yeah.
Like, I I would put him on the same level as the bigger bad solely because of that. Like, that is a the movies also that they've made based on the Injustice games are crazy in that they really strip away that Superman is a hero kind of thing, and they show what happens when you break someone like that, and he has no redeeming qualities. Like, he
There
becomes a villain.
there's movies based on Injustice?
Yes, hold on. I'll have
Oh
to send
yeah.
these to you, but, uh, yes, there is a movie, I believe, called just straight up Injustice, that came out in, like, 2012. Yeah. So, um, yeah, it was adapted into an animated movie, um, in 2021, actually?
Oh my
This says
gosh.
2012. Maybe I'm just dyslexic. Hold on.
Yeah, the first game
It
came
came
out pretty early.
Yeah. Um, Injustice movie. Yeah, it came out in 2021. On an alternate Earth, the Joker tricks Superman into killing Lois Lane, which sends the hero on a path of destruction. Superman
Mhm.
decides to take control of Earth, and Batman and his allies must stop him. It's actually a really good movie. It's based on the prequel comic of the game itself that came out.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know there was a movie.
Do you have HBO Max?
I could probably find a way to get it.
I was gonna say I have it. I could always share it with you. Not that we
Yeah.
would actually do that, anyone. Um,
No.
well, I mean, I don't know. HBO Max is not Netflix. Netflix was always like, "We'll never take away the fact that you can share with people," and Netflix went, "Hey, we're taking that away from you." Um, but it's on there. It's also on Amazon Prime, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to look
But
out for it then.
yeah, definitely check it out. It's a good movie. But
Okay.
it really does take away that whole Superman is a good guy. It's like, what happens when you break the unbreakable man?
Yeah, totally.
Um, sorry, we took a long tangent with that one.
No, no. This is what it's all about, man. That's a prime example of a game where Because you can choose to be on Superman's side, at least in the second one. I don't know about the first one,
Yeah,
but
that is
uh,
a good point.
Coda, how do you feel about games that you can play with other people online that you can be an asshole in? That one's kind of loaded.
uh, if I can be a menace online, I will be a menace online.
Well, so I asked that because lately I've been playing Arc Raiders, and there's like I don't know, the community has like a psychology with it that I've never seen in any other PvP game. You like it depends on who you play with because I'm pretty sure you're put in lobbies based on your aggression level, which I don't know how they do it, but you are
I
like people announce to each other that like, hey, what's up? I'm friendly if you are, or some people don't and they just shoot you in the back of the head and they're assholes for it.
I've watched I watched a fair amount of my friends play Arc Raiders. I haven't gotten into it, but I love watching them play just for those moments. Um, one of my buddies actually had an instance where he was like, he met up with this guy. He was like, "Hey, I'm friendly if you are." Dude was super chill. They were all hanging out, and he ended up. He was like, "I'm gonna show you this place that I like to go to for some really good loot." Dude was like, "Oh, sweet." So he took him there, and he was like, "You open this, you're almost guaranteed a blueprint." Um, and so dude was like, "Oh, sweet, thanks, man." And it had already been like opened and taken. He was like, "Yeah, but like, it looks like this place has already been looted. I don't have the blueprint." And the dude straight up killed him anyways. And he was
Classic.
just like, right. And he was just like, "I told you I didn't have the blueprint." And the dude was just like, "Oh, my bad." That was the end of it.
That's how it goes. Some people are nefarious in that game. That happened to us last night on stream. I don't know if you saw it, but we were finally loading into the train to leave. And we're like, hey,
hmm
we're friendly if you are. We'll start the train if you guys are chill. And we did. And then they just loaded a clip into us. I'm like, okay, that's cool. Dweebs.
Yeah. It's always either right at the end or right when you get comfortable that they end up doing that.
Yeah. But, some people argue that that's just how the game is, and that's how you play the game. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't really care that much, but I know people that care a lot when it comes to things like that. And they're like, oh, they're so scummy. I hate that.
Well, it's just like those people in GTA Online too, who will like you can meet up with random people and just do missions and
Hmm.
not have to worry too much about it. And then you get that random asshole who will come in and he will chase you to your apartment or wherever, and he will blow up any car that you take out of your house, anything.
Yeah.
He'll actively hunt you down. I remember to get back at someone solely because I was starting to get frustrated because I had a lot of good cars, and they just kept anytime I would come out of my apartment, they would be standing there ready to blow it up.
Of
I
course.
wasted, I think at the time it was $500,000 in game. Not that I would ever have that money in real life. Jesus, if I did. If I did, I wouldn't be playing GTA. I'll tell you that much. But I spent probably half a million in game money to get the uh, what is it called? The Osiris laser or whatever it is. The overhead laser that you can pick a pick a spot and it shoots down a giant beam.
Yeah.
Um, and I spent money just to blow the dude up. Just like I wasted all of the funds that I had saved because I had spent most of them on getting my cars back, um, just so that I could get him to kindly fuck off.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, GTA 5, GTA Online. I always seem to like get the people that they would always find where you respawn and then kill you again very quickly. And they keep
Mhm.
doing that. So annoying.
Yep. You have to try and find your way into a private lobby, or you have to just kind of suck it up and deal with it. It's
For real.
always fun.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, do you have any other examples
Of
of just
uh
general games where you can play as the villain, things like that?
general games where you could play as the villain. I had a few of them off the top of my head. Let me pull up my list real quick. I brought up Assassin's Creed 3 where you start, Infamous, and a couple of others, but like what about like um I was going to say isometric, but that's not the right one. What about games where it's like the 1v4 where like for example Dead by Daylight,
Okay.
or like the Friday the 13th game where one person gets to play as Jason or the whatever bad guy you pick, and then people are just trying to survive against it. What do you think
Um,
about those kind of games?
I hate those kinds of games personally. Like Dead by Daylight, I despise just because I think it's boring, first of all, and a lot of people, to my experience, maybe not everybody has experienced this, but a lot of people are just kind of scummy in that game.
Oh yeah.
So I stopped playing.
You know they made a dating sim out of that game?
What?
Yeah. I believe it's called Hooked on You or something like that. Hold on a sec. Uh
Do you date the
De-
monsters?
yep.
Okay,
Hold on. Dead by Daylight uh dating game. Hooked on You, a Dead by Daylight dating sim. So,
great.
yeah. So it is a choice driven periodic or yeah. It's a parody game. It's parodic. That's probably not how you pronounce that, but you get to romance the killers from Dead by Daylight. So you wake up on Murderer's Island with amnesia, and you can flirt and banter with four of the killers: the Trapper, the Huntress, the Wraith, and the Spirit.
Oh my gosh.
And this is an actual game, and it has a 9 out of 10 on Steam. It is
Um,
mostly positive.
dating sims are okay. I don't know if I'd play that one though.
I don't know if I'd play that one either, but it has a very positive rating of 92% out of 3,382 votes.
What? Real quick, what does Dead by Daylight have?
That's a very good question.
Because
Let's
if it's
see.
more, that's hilarious.
Dead by Daylight currently has a 7 out of 10 with 79% out of 243,586 reviews.
That's
So
kind of
the
crazy.
dating sim has a higher positive rating, even though it has less reviews.
Um, good. Because F Dead by Daylight.
So we've talked about Destroy All Humans, Grand Theft Auto 5. We talked about the Prototype series. Ooh,
Oh, I
here's
got one.
one.
Oh,
Oh,
you go
go
ahead.
for it. No, you.
What about Bowser's Inside Story?
You know, I don't think I ever played that, but I do know a little bit about it. That's the one where Mario and Luigi get trapped inside of him, and they
Yeah,
have to get their way out of him.
it's the Vor game.
I
That
hate
whole
that
like
word.
being serious though, that whole like Mario RPG series,
Mhm.
Bowser is more or less a good guy in those,
Yeah.
just based on how
Mario
the
and
story goes.
Luigi are just they're just causing mayhem. Because I remember there's one where you're like I I vaguely remember bits and pieces of it because 'cause I've seen it before, where you're inside and you're just smacking on different parts of his body, and then it cuts to a cutscene of him outside of his body, and he's just setting flame to shit
Yeah,
because
yeah,
you're
yeah.
beating up his insides. Like, he doesn't mean to destroy shit, but he's just out there breathing fire because you're fucking around inside his body.
Okay, okay.
So, yeah,
Yeah,
no
Yeah. I think in that series, there's always a greater evil. So I think that's another good example. But,
Mhm.
but I think because of that, Bowser ends up just helping you instead of like
Right.
being another force of evil. So that's cool.
Yeah. There's also, like, the Paper Mario games, the one that came out on the Wii, I think it was, where he actually plays as a good guy
Yeah.
because 'cause you're trying to fight off Count Bleck or whatever and save the paper world from being destroyed or however it was.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
it's always kinda cool when the villain gets to be the hero, you know?
I think so too.
I think it's nice when games let you actually, um I don't know, when they give redeeming qualities to villains, I don't wanna make it sound like I'm trying to make villains sound like a good thing, but, you know, it's just like in D&D whenever, someone that is very evil, like the big bad evil guy can, be turned to, the light side of things. Like, I think it's in season 1 of Fantasy High, Dimension 20 show.
Okay.
Sorry, we're going from video games to shows now. Um, there is a there's the big bad evil guy is the Nightmare King. They get taken to this world, uh, and they have to fight off this dude who effectively there's no chance in you surviving him. However, at the very end, one of the characters manages to pull out like a divine um intervention, and they end up changing him from being this horribly evil, corrupt, like killing everything into basically this new god that um the the character or the person playing the character ends up worshiping and then is now a good thing. Like it goes from being this whole thing about uh the god of fear to being like a god of mystery and
Mm.
ends up helping, yeah, turns them to the light side.
Okay. That's pretty
It,
interesting.
yeah, it's always cool when games or shows and stuff like that can give redeeming qualities to um the bad guy. It's always nice to know that like I can fix him. That was the first thought that came to mind. um Here's one that I thought of, speaking of those games for examples, is like, KOTOR, Star Wars KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic. I never got to play it much, but I do remember that you can fully play as just a Sith Lord.
Oh,
Yeah, you have the option of, like, playing as part of the Sith, um, or, playing as an actual Jedi, and you can fully go through and just fuck shit up,
that's kinda cool. Okay.
right?
Yeah, I like that.
Here's a question for you, because I just started thinking about this. Speaking of Star Wars, it made me think of um, the ones where you play as Star Killer, which I can't remember the name of those off the top of my head. But a bad guy was trained under Darth Vader, ends up killing Darth Vader, and it does a whole lot of worse shit. But it made me think of: would you consider Kratos a bad guy?
Hmm. Okay.
Or
That's
is he
interesting.
just a good guy that, um, his motives and the things that he does are evil?
Hmm. Yeah, I wonder because, huh. Well, the whole
'Cause
idea of him killing all of these gods and goddesses is because they're corrupt and they're not doing well to society, right?
right, but he is effectively destroying an entire pantheon of these gods that these people worship.
Hmm. Okay.
And even in like even in the later games, in the more recent ones where his rage gets toned down, he's still like he kills Thor or he fights Thor. I don't know if he actually killed him. I can't remember off the top of my head, but he's still fighting all of these gods from other pantheons and stuff. Like, is he the good guy or is he overall a villain? Like, is he just a misunderstood good guy?
Um. Oh, that's a good question because that comes into asking like for the greater good of the future, do bad things need to happen? You know what I mean? Because if you
Right,
consider him killing all these deities to be bad, but in turn getting away from all this corruption, from all of this like these nasty things that they're doing to the world, is that a
right,
good thing? I don't know.
right. It's one of those like morally gray kind of spots.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I think I'm leaning more towards good guy.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I would. I'm
Okay.
trying to like because I want to say yes, but at the same time, um, like it all is. Yes, he's fighting off this corruption, but the first game, he's literally just killing them. Like even the ones that he's like that aren't fully corrupt. Like um, I want to say Hephaestus, maybe. There's one of the ones where it's like he goes to them and they help him and he still kills them after they've helped him.
Okay. Now that's
Like,
interesting.
uh, and I could be misremembering it. I haven't played those games fully in years, and I wanted to go back and start them over again, but those were from like the old PlayStation 2 days, and there's
Mhm.
not a whole lot of ways you can get around to playing those. Um, there are, but there's not legally. Um, uh, but hypothetically, but no, like it's still like I don't know. It feels like a dude who's just hell bent on rage, and while his intentions are good, he's effectively a villain.
Hmm.
Does that make sense?
It does, and I think yeah, that puts it a lot into question actually. Hmm.
What
I don't know.
do you
I'm sure
guys
there are
think?
other examples of that.
What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
That's the first time I've ever done that, and that's the last time I ever will.
Are you sure?
Um, no, I'm not sure. It's a new year. It's new us.
That's right.
Um, Here's one that I had listed, and I couldn't remember why I listed it until I started thinking about it. Untitled Goose Game.
Mm.
Did you ever play that game?
No, but I've seen bits and pieces of it.
That goose is a fucking menace to the entire town. Granted, it is just a mischievous little goose who's getting into things, but you are terrorizing that entire village.
Yeah.
Like, it, and geese to begin with are just assholes.
Yeah, they suck.
They
Especially
suck.
Canadian geese.
I've been bit by one before. Um, they're not nice people. They're not even people. They're just they're just not nice. And so like I would fully consider that game a game where you play as a villain solely because fuck geese. Hashtag
Hmm.
fuck geese 2026.
Yep. Yep. Put it on Instagram right now.
Although we'd also have to add the hashtag don't actually fuck geese 2026.
Hashtag no bestiality.
There you go.
Hashtag unless. I think What if we I don't have any other examples.
I have one last one that I thought of just now. Well,
Okay.
two, but technically one. Um, the DC supervillains. So there's a DC supervillains Lego game where you play as the like Joker and Harley Quinn and all that stuff, and you are effectively playing as the bad guys throughout the story. Even
Mhm.
though technically, I believe their story ends up being like they save the world to an extent. I don't fully remember that one. Um, but also, uh, in the same vein, the Suicide Squad game, which was okay at best. We won't say it was good. We won't say it was bad. Most people would say it was bad. Um, However, some of us like to be optimists and hope that Rocksteady will eventually come out with a game that is not bad. So we'll say it's not bad for now. I'm not projecting. You are. Um, Anywho, so in that game, you play as the Suicide Squad. You play as King Shark. You play as Captain Boomerang, Harley Quinn, Deadshot, um, and you are trying to save. Um, you're trying to save the DC universe because all of the superheroes have been uh, mind controlled by Brainiac.
Okay.
So even though they're effectively very bad people, they are playing as the heroes in their story. Um, you have to you have to kill the Justice League, um, or at least stop them from destroying the world because they're listening to Brainiac. It's a really cool. I like the story of it. The game was it was okay. It was okay. I won't let anyone tell me it was bad because I know.
That is interesting. I like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I like games like that. Those, especially the Rocksteady games, just because I'm a big fan of the Batman and all that other stuff. DC is one of my favorites, but getting to play as these characters who, in all intents and purposes, are morally evil. You know,
Mhm.
they are people who have been set out into the world to do harm, but the fact that you are playing in a way that makes it so you are the good guy in this fucked up sense of morality is it's really cool to me.
Yeah, I totally agree. In several cases. I mean, as we've listed.
Mhm. I think that's all of my list that I can think of though. Um, any last thoughts or questions before we decide to wrap up?
No, that's all I got too.
Well, this is a this is a first.
No more
We've
yapping from us.
no more yapping. Uh, Thank you guys so much for listening as always. Happy 2026. Um, I have big plans, hopefully for this year in terms of this show. By our 1 year mark, which will be the effective start of season 2, I want to actually set it up so that maybe we could do some sort of video aspect to this, whether it's we use RPNGs or whatever. And we
Okay.
just I'll design like a full set and just have me on one end, you on another, make it look like we're actually sitting in the same room, what have you. Um,
That's exciting. Okay.
yeah, yeah, it's gonna take some work. It's literally day 6 of the start of the year, so we'll see how far I get into it. But um, there's some big things coming, big things that I want to do for this channel, in this podcast itself.
I can't wait for it,
Because
brother.
yeah, I the fact that we started this last year actually made me really happy. It was nice to get it off the ground and get it started. So I know I'm rambling for you guys that are listening, but uh, it really does mean a lot that you listen. Um, so thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart and from the bottom of Cubic's heart. I know for a fact.
Yes, thank you.
But thank you guys so much for listening. As always, go ahead and follow us on Spotify and YouTube over at Scuffed AF Pod or Scuffed as Fuck Podcast. We're also over on Blue Sky at Scuffed AF Pod. You can leave your comments down below. And yeah, thank you guys so much. We'll be back again in 2 weeks with another episode. We'll figure out what we're doing some point here soon. I do think we might cut this out towards the end, but I think the one that I want to go over is games that define their generation,
Okay.
and we'll talk about games over the past like couple decades and like which ones actually stood out from the rest.
Definitely down for that one.
Hell yeah! But last time I'll say it. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we will see you next time. Okay, bye.
Bye, everybody.